And we ask you to hold off on your calls for the first portion of our show because we do have a very special guest in the Francis E. Wood studio. And we've got Luther Cyphers. I got it right the first time. Anyway, we've got Luther here with us, and he is running for Virginia Senate.
That's correct. It's the 10th district seat that's being vacated by John McGuire, who won the 5th district congressional seat.
That's wonderful. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, Luther. How long have you been in the Farmville area?
Sure. So I grew up in Amelia County. So I've been in the area pretty much my whole life. You know, I grew up in the we'll say the woods of Amelia County. So when we went to town, it was Farmville was the town. You know,
right.
Back then Amelia didn't even have a grocery store. So yeah, I've been around my whole life. We moved Yakutak to Farmville here in 2019.
Now, Yakutak is your baby, right?
That's right. So, yeah, Yakutak is a manufacturing company. We build products for mostly for the kayak fishing industry. Mm-hmm. But in more recent years, I would say the fishing industry at large. You know, we're branching into other things besides just kayak fishing now. But, yeah, I started that business in my friend's basement back in 2009. And, you know, we've grown that up to now I think we employ about 70 people here in Farmville. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a real cool business, real fun thing to be part of.
Now, is this the only plant that you have?
This
here?
is the only one that I have now.
Uh-huh.
In 2017, I started a business down in Greenville, South Carolina called Bonafide Kayaks. Mm-hmm. And this was – so Yakutak makes the accessories for the kayaks, the attachments. To rig them out for fishing, but Bonafide Kayaks was an actual fishing kayak brand, or is, I should say. I don't own it anymore, but it's still one of the industry-leading brands. From our very first year, from our very first launch, we rapidly made it to the top of our price tier, and Bonafide has had a place in the industry at the top of its category.
Well, when we were talking, I mentioned that Yakutak is a much needed asset here. It's become part of the Farmville and area community as far as a business is concerned and an employer as well. We just give us a little bit. You're a blended family, correct?
Yes. So I was telling you right before the show here. So I was mentioning we have an 18-month-old,
right?
And my oldest is 30. So yeah, we've got two distinct chapters there.
Oh boy!
Oh, it's been a complete blessing. I
know. Well, that's great. And okay, give us a little bit of a history. How in the world did you figure out that you wanted to be in politics? As far as what you feel the government is doing, and you know, we were talking about regulations and all of that a little earlier.
Well, I would say there's a difference between wanting to be in politics and feeling called to be in politics, and I think I'm probably falling to the second category. Mm-hmm. I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I really love building businesses. I really love creating opportunity for people. You know, I started with very humble beginnings myself, and you know, the ecosystem in manufacturing, you know, I found a place there, and I think a lot of people don't realize what that ecosystem's like. There's really something for everybody in manufacturing, and I've watched over the years as it's just kind of, you know, gone slowly, it's gone away. I mean, so that was the reason for you know, wanting to be involved with manufacturing, but through doing that, you know, I'm realizing that the world is closing in on the average citizen. I mean, the year after year after year, we introduce more and more legislation. When the legislation creates problems, we answer it with more legislation or money that, you know, is coming from our, you know, our taxes and unfortunately sometimes not even from our taxes. It's just printed out of thin air and it's driving inflation and things like that. I feel like we have a lot of people in government who are experienced in government. But I don't think we have enough people in government that are experienced in the real world.
You got that right.
Well, even with the best of intentions, if you don't have the perspective at the table, how exactly do you address the problems of people who are, you know, trying to buy their first home or trying to start a small business or trying to scale a business to be an employment base for the community? How do you do that if you've never done that? And, I feel like for my whole life, I call my career a series of a process of falling up the stairs in a lot of cases. I mean, I feel like God has opened a lot of doors for me over the years, and has given me a very, very diverse set of life experiences. And, I haven't really thought of that as being preparing me for politics, frankly. But I got a call from a friend, someone who I would just say shares the similar concerns and has a similar vantage point that I do, as to the squeeze that's happening right now on people. And he called me and said, "Look, I know this is not on your radar, but," he said, "I think you should consider this." And my first response inside my head was, "This is not for me. Like, I'm not a politician. That's not what I do." But, sometimes you feel convicted. And that conviction hasn't gone away. It's gotten stronger, and that's my hope. I really want to try to truly represent people. This isn't about a political career for me. This will be a chapter in my life, and then I'll go back to building businesses and building opportunity for people. But I think it's important work. I think it's a type of service that I'm uniquely qualified to do at this point in my life, and I feel compelled to try to do it.
Well, you started out humbly, you worked your way up,
yes,
and that's good because you have a reality, invested in what you feel is that you have to do to sort of make some changes.
Yes, ma'am. I started working in tobacco fields for my neighbors when I was 10 or 11 years old. From there to some various jobs in the construction industry. I was homeschooled. I didn't get formally educated. I did end up taking classes, like night classes and stuff like that during my career, and I ended up getting an associate's degree. But frankly, that was because I couldn't get the company I was working for to give me a raise until I did that. So, but no, I mean, just again, spending years, feeling like opportunity was something I'd have to work really hard for and reach really high for, because again, I had very humble beginnings, to kind of overachieving in some of these early jobs and having opportunity and building a family and living paycheck to paycheck for 15 years or more, to living on beans and rice for 5 years and getting Yak Attack off the ground to become something that that could support my family, and then from there to hiring people and building that business up. And then, in 2021, I sold most of that business. I'm still involved there with strategy and product development, but we have a CEO that runs the business. We have a team. They run independent of me every day of the week, to now reinvesting that capital in the community, and trying to do more impact investing and things that, I really love Yak Attack, and I love that we've been able to make people's fishing experiences better. And I love the way that our industry appreciates us. It's a really cool industry to be part of. But I'm looking forward, as I get older, impact is becoming more and more important to me. So, I'm looking forward to doing more investments in the community that actually benefit people, while sustaining a business, benefit people in the more crucial areas of their life.
Right. Well, actually, we do have open lines. And if you guys have any questions that you would like to address to Luther, please let us know. And I think Noah will probably answer the phone there to find out if it is if the call is about you and what's going on. Now, you not going to quit with Yak Attack. You want to start a new business.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that and what problems that you have run into.
Sure. Yeah. So one thing that I'm very aware of is that home equity it's an important part of pursuing the American dream. I mean, home ownership is one of the primary ways that the average family builds wealth, and it's also it's this idea of being an independent citizen. Home equity enables that because you run into some financial problems. You've got some home equity to lean on. You want to start up a small business. You've got home equity to lean on. And we're becoming more and more, and oftentimes not by choice of citizens, more dependent. If we want to start a small business, we need to go write a grant. Or if we run into financial problems, we need to, get some government help. So I think it's really important that people have the means of independence. And this is home equity is one of the main ways they can get that. If you look at what's happened in the last few years with home prices, which granted driven some by COVID and supply chain and all of that, but driven also by other things, including regulation. The entry level price point is no longer approachable for people. I think most of the people listening now, if they just, even people, let's say people that have been working for 20 years, have mature careers, they're in the workforce, doing their thing as a citizen. If they had to buy the home they're living in today, most people couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. So what are people, a young couple straight out of college, getting their career started, even combined income of $120,000 a year, there are very few housing options for them today. So people are more and more being driven to renting. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of the solutions that I'm hearing has to do with high density apartments. And, I think we're getting to the point that we're becoming...
We're losing our identity,
yes,
basically,
ma'am.
and our independence there.
Our independence.
Even with the high-density apartments and stuff like that, you're still living kind of at the mercy of somebody else.
That's correct. Well, you're a renter. You're not an owner in most cases. So, and don't misunderstand me. I mean, those are important things. When I had my business down in Greenville, I had an apartment. Like, those great. And we've got university here in Farmville. We've got college, the Hampton City College, and we've got the hospital. So we've got need for those kind of things as well. But I don't want this idea of home ownership to become a thing of the past. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize is you've got, these 3 trillionaire corporations, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, that are rapidly buying up single-family homes as well. So that's creating price pressure. So the bottom line for me is that there is no entry point today for the average family getting started. And I think we hear a lot of conversation about making sure people have roofs over their heads, but the downstream consequences of not having home ownership, the consequences that we'll be reaping, 5, 10, 15 years from now, are less small businesses, mm-hmm. more financial crises for families, mm-hmm. And less wealth creation. I mean, that's just a fact. That's a very easily verifiable fact. And I don't really see a lot of things happening to address that. So what I have started to do, and I've been studying this for about a year. We've laid a lot of the groundwork. We haven't built the first home yet. There's a ton of engineering to do to enable this. But we're essentially looking at home building. A lot of the times when entrepreneurs, and I think government elected officials as well, approach a problem, they approach it with the status quo as being the starting point. Well, the reason we've been very successful at Yak Attack is we approach it as though there is no status quo. We see the resources that we have at our disposal. Mm-hmm. We see a problem. And everything in between we really kind of ignore unless there's some usefulness in it. And that's kind of what we're doing with home building. We're kind of discarding the idea that homes are built today in a certain way, and we're just looking at the tools, the techniques, and the technology that are available today. Mm-hmm. And the objective, which for me is to get a home to market for around a starter home to market for around $225,000. Mm-hmm. That's a price point that is achievable with the climate, the labor and material climate here. And it's approachable for a lot of people. That's about a $350,000 home today. If it's in a nice neighborhood, right. that would mm-hmm. be about that. But our goal is to basically, we don't want investors. We don't want BlackRock buying these homes. We don't want investors buying these homes and rent them to people. So we're going to restrict the purchases to people who are buying it as their residence. So we won't sell to corporations. And then because we're selling the homes below market price, even the average homeowner, it's very tempting. I might do it myself if I was in that situation and say, hey, I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put $75,000 in my pocket, and then I'm going to go buy another one or whatever. We don't want that to happen either, because that doesn't actually solve a problem.
Right.
So our intent here is to take the home equity. So, however, the difference between what we sold it for and what the market price is, mm-hmm. and put that in subordinate liens that are forgiven over time. So if the homeowner lives there for a certain amount of time, those liens just get forgiven. So we're leaving a lot of margin on the table, mm-hmm. But at the same time, the way we're able to do that is because in manufacturing we have techniques for eliminating waste, and even the definition of waste, that could be a whole radio show in and of itself.
Okay, we can do that.
As it relates to manufacturing, but what I can tell you is that there are a lot of different forms of waste in residential construction, and kind of reimagining that from the ground floor, we can eliminate a lot of that. It's going to take several houses, but it'll take us several houses completed before we perfect that. And actually, you never perfect it, because in manufacturing we have a thing called continuous improvement, and that'll continue forever. But anyway, we know that that's an achievable thing. But as we're getting into this, we're saying, okay, so we need some lots, like we need some building lots. And to make this work, you need to be able to get a building lot for about between $10,000 and $20,000. And so we, it's like, okay, we'll get a tract of land and start studying that for development. And what I'm realizing is that between Virginia DEQ requirements, the stormwater requirements, VDOT's requirements, the local towns requirements, you cannot get the lot cost down that low. So now you're in a position where, okay, we can develop a neighborhood, but it's going to be economically unfeasible to build approachable homes. So now you have a problem that literally cannot be solved, at least not to my knowledge, not with conventional construction, because what we're doing is still stick building homes. This isn't factory built homes. Right. We're just applying some techniques. So that, this is just one example of many, many examples of things that seemed like a good idea at the time. I mean, hey, I think we all would like sidewalks. I think we all would like, beautifully paved roads. I think, But when people are suffering the way that they're suffering today, and it's soft suffering now, because they're just having to live at home with mom and dad, or they're having to multifamilies.
Once they get out into the real world.
Well, and a lot of them are in the real world, but they still don't have home ownership.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just like, how do we solve this practically? And I think there's a couple of ways to do that. One way is to just reduce regulation. Another way is, if we can't reduce regulation, look, if the private sector, if a builder developer is willing to forego profit, substantial profit, in order to try to make a home price approachable to solve a problem. And I know people think of business as being all about money. Most business owners that I know are you have to make a profit in order to sustain your business.
Of course.
But most of the people, especially in this community, we really genuinely care about our community. I mean,
Absolutely.
We really do. And we have kids, so we care about that. So we would like an environment that people can be successful. So you've got the private sector, doing as much as it can, but the public sector is building the walls of requirements that you have to scale. So more and more difficult for a small business to overcome those hurdles than a larger business. So, and then, anyway, the way that we can help this from the public side is, VDOT already collects a lot of our tax money. And a lot of that money is spent on important things like repaving roads. And a lot of it is spent on what I would call pet projects, and a good example, and I know there's different opinions on this, is this roundabout that's coming here on High Street. I mean, hey, I'm a big fan of roundabouts. I know a lot of people around here don't like them. I've spent a lot of time in places where the whole system is all roundabouts, and it works really well. But for $12.5 million, we could put in the infrastructure for 200 or 300 homes and pass those in when you say that, people say, oh, and subsidize the developer. No. You pass that on to the homeowner, and there are mechanisms for doing that.
Oh, wonderful. So, okay, so the primary is coming up. To
be determined, but tentatively the date, and this shouldn't change, but it could, is December 12th.
Okay.
The format of the candidate, the Republican candidate selection, is going to be a mass meeting. That was voted on last night. The location is still being determined. The district goes, from basically Prince Edward would be the very southern part, out to Amelia, out to Buckingham, and then up to like Hanover, Louisa. So it's a pretty big district. So they're trying to find a central place to do it.
This is District 10, correct?
This is District 10, correct.
Okay.
And the way that will work is voters, any registered voter will show up at this place. I think the doors open at 5:30, and you'll have to be in line by 6:30 to get credentialed and have the opportunity to vote. They'll verify that you live in the district and that you're a registered voter. It's a Republican primary, so if you have voted in Democrat primaries, you have to sign I think my understanding is like a
waiver?
A waiver or a pledge saying that you're not there to play party politics. You're actually supporting the candidate, is the way I understand it. But anyway, and then everybody will vote. There are, I think, 7 of us now in the field. So, yeah, it's a pretty crowded field. But what they'll do is they'll tally the votes. And if no one gets a minimum of 50% of the vote, which is unlikely on that first round, then the lowest, 1 or 2 or whatever will drop off, and then people will vote again.
This is a special election to fill the seat that McGuire left.
That's correct.
Okay.
And at the end of that, and again, this is currently it's December 12th is the date. And I think the only way that will change is if they can't find a venue available that's large enough, because we're expecting a couple of thousand people there.
Right.
Yeah, that will determine the Republican nominee, and then there will be a special election called by the Senate, and I think that's supposed to be like January 7th, I believe, is what's expected. Again, that hasn't been called yet.
Right, but you'll let us know, of course.
Yes, yeah, we're keeping our website LutherCyphers.com updated, keeping all of our social media updated, and anybody that's on our email list, we're keeping them updated as well.
Okay, all right. Well, Luther, thanks so much.
Thank you
for being part of our WFLO family here, and we certainly wish you luck.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, and good luck with the little 18-month-old, too. What's his name?
His name's Andrew.
Andrew, okay.
Yeah, he's an awesome kid.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And like I said, good luck to you, and keep us informed.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate the work you guys do here.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Luther. Luther Cyphers. And he's running for the seat that McGuire left, and that would be for Virginia State Senate. Anyway, all right. That's great. Okay, we're going to get back to some business here. It is 56 degrees out, but we do have our weather forecast coming up. And this edition of the weather is brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. With over 30 years of banking experience, I'm here to help you finance your commercial, agricultural, or personal project. Give us a call at 391-1136 or stop by our downtown office at 216 North Main Street, where you'll find old-school personal assistance with attention to detail. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right, let's take a look at the forecast for Southside and Central Virginia. We'll see some patchy fog that may be dissipating as we speak. Otherwise, look for cloudy or maybe partly sunny skies. I don't know. We do have a 50% chance of some showers developing a little later on. Look for a high of 68 degrees. Tonight, we'll see showers likely at 60%. Otherwise partly cloudy with a low of 36 degrees. On Thursday, lots of sunshine but cooler. Look for a high around 50. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low of 31. On Friday, mostly sunny with a high around 50 degrees. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 37. For Saturday, mostly sunny with a high around 55 degrees. For Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 34. Sunday, we'll see sunshine. A little bit warmer, a high of 56 degrees. Your humidity at 100%. Our winds are calm. Barometer at 29.78 inches. We do have, well, they're still talking about some fog out there. And it's 56 degrees. That's your weather forecast. Brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County, with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookneal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. All right, we've got our birthday calendar coming up, brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
Jazzy.
All right.
Yeah.
It's your Over the Hump Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
We should have some jazzy birthday music,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Noah?
That's a roll.
I know.
All
How
right.
are you, by the way?
Doing well. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Okay, let's see here. What have we? This is the 20th of November already.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's coming up. I mean, yeah,
Thanksgiving's coming
December,
up.
Christmas is coming up.
I hope to be cooking next week this time.
Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur? What is it?
Yom Kippur.
Ah, that's coming up
Yom
too.
Kippur.
Okay, Chris, what
Yeah,
have
time
you had to
backwards.
drink this morning? No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's what I didn't have to drink.
Oh, man. Water. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's get to the
Let's get
All
those
right,
birthdays.
all right. Birthdays. All right, so starting off the birthday calendar, we have Cecilia Young. Cecilia, like the classic Simon and Garfunkel song. You're breaking my heart.
Okay. Celia Joe?
Okay,
Actually,
so that's
Celia Joe Young.
okay.
Yeah, how old is she?
I
Doesn't
don't
say.
I don't
I
have
think
that.
she's up in her 80s.
Cecilia Young. Yeah.
It's not Cecilia. It's Celia Joe.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Or does it say Cecilia?
Is this Cecilia Young?
Okay. All right. Maybe that's the
Or maybe
that's the wrong
maybe it's a fact
Cecilia
like
Young.
Cecilia is young. No, that's okay. Sorry.
Anyway, go
Okay,
ahead.
I am bombing
It
this
might
morning,
be
Chris.
Cecilia. The Cecilia Joe I know Young is used to be my neighbor.
Oh,
Anyway.
nice.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, Dane Smith from Phoenix, Virginia, turning 39 years old.
Okay.
Almost that 4-0.
Oh, the big
That's a
4-0,
Do you
yeah.
remember the big 4-0?
I do remember the big 4.
How is that? I feel like that's a big transition from 30 to 40, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. But I was, well, where was I? Oh, I was at WFLO.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice,
when I turned
nice.
the big 4-0.
All right. Nice. That's good. Now, the 4-0, I'm excited for that one. I think that's really
You've got
one-
a long way to go.
I know. Well, I had 20 years, or like 19 years.
19 years.
Yeah. So it's not terribly long. It's a long time.
He's a baby. Folks.
I'm a
He's
baby.
just a baby.
All right.
All
okay.
right.
Well, that's all the birthdays I got, Chris. And
That's
people,
it?
yeah. You look surprised.
I am surprised.
Okay.
Anyway, we haven't gotten that. Yeah, we do have a calendar
Yeah,
for December, but
the 20th is a little vacant, on the
there,
calendar.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Not a lot of 20th birthdays, Same for the 27th as well. No 27th birthdays on
on
the calendar. Well, at least for not right now.
Well, let's tell those people to get
Those birthdays to us? Yeah.
those 27th birthdays to us. Well, I know I will have one.
It is Celia Jones. Joe. I'm
Celia
sorry.
Joe?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
You're right, Chris.
Yes.
Oh, man.
No, we will have one birthday. My grandson
Okay.
is.
Oh, that's
his
right. You were
birthday's
telling me
on
about that.
the 27th,
Yep.
Leighton. So we'll put that on the calendar. He'll turn-
Definitely will.
Oh, he'll turn 19.
Goodness. I remember 19. That was like 10 years ago. I'm
No, it
kidding.
wasn't. It was 2
I know.
years
I know.
ago.
Come on, Chris. It's just
gosh.
playing around. People can get those birthdays to us and anniversaries they can send them in at birthdays at WFLO.net. Call them in at 434-394-0924. If you want to talk to us and tell us the birthday you'd like us
Yeah.
celebrate, that's always fun.
It's always fun to
I always
talk.
enjoy hearing from the
yes.
callers,
Absolutely. And let's see. What else are we doing this week? Oh, I know. We're giving away a turkey.
We're giving away a turkey. We're going to be
Hopefully giving away a turkey.
We're going to be doing it till the 27th. So people have what?
a whole week.
yeah,
Oh, a whole
1, 2,
3, 4,
3,
5.
4, 5 days,
5
to win a
days.
turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Chris, but the turkey is a sacred bird in my family. We love the turkey.
I love turkey too.
Turkey-
I love turkey as well.
On Thanksgiving, nothing beats it. Some people trying to get like those rotisserie chickens from Walmart and say that's Thanksgiving. You're not celebrating.
No,
Right.
I
You
can-
get that turkey.
I know that I've told our
The
listeners
Butterball and
this story before, but you were asking about Thanksgiving stories or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My very first Thanksgiving turkey that I cooked was in Orlando, Florida, and we had some people coming in, like in-laws, and she was a very good cook, and I was a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But so I, put the turkey in the oven, everything I was supposed to do. At least I thought so. So they got there, and we were having a little pre-libation, and the turkey just wouldn't get done.
Oh no!
I know. And the longer the turkey took, the happier we got.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
That's a fun way to put it.
Yeah, so finally I took it out of the oven and was kind of looking at it and everything, and it was still chilly, not hot, but it was enough for me to look in there, and I'd left the giblets and everything.
Oh yeah,
all the innard things in there.
Yeah.
Still frozen.
Oh God, Chris, that's so sad. Oh my goodness.
By that time, we really didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
oh man.
It was awful. I was so embarrassed.
Speaking of Thanksgiving stories, I have some, and they're about the food, but a lot of the ones I remember were about like my brother Daniel. That's a fake name, by the way. No, it's Dan. He would always have these like weird scams to do. Oh, let me tell you. Okay. So Thanksgiving, you get your plate, you get your food, you eat, you enjoy, you talk to family. It's fun, right? After that happened, Dan was like, okay, guys, I'm giving you all one of my credit cards. And we're like, what? And then he was like, we're going to Walmart to buy all the phones for the Black Friday sale, so he can sell them at a.
Oh.
He was like, here, Noah, I was like, I might have been like 12, and he was like, I need you to buy 5 phones because it's only like 5 phones per credit card. So here's a credit card, Jason, blah, blah, blah. You credit card. He had like so many credit cards, Chris. I don't know where he's getting them all, but anyways, kind of a racket. That's what I'm saying. It's a Thanksgiving scam.
Yeah. So where's Dan now? In prison?
No, I don't think it's technically. It's not illegal, but it is looked down upon. I look down upon it.
Yeah, well, I look down upon it too. But
it's shiesty behavior.
Is he an entrepreneur? Or
he is. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. He actually is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
I don't want to give away too much information. I don't know how much I should, but yes, he is an entrepreneur. To answer your question.
And how old is he?
He's 30, probably 34, I would imagine, between 34 and 38, somewhere in between that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in between that. All right. One thing that I failed to ask Luther, and you go ask Luther right now because he's still here, if he likes to fish. He builds all this stuff for fishing.
Yes,
go ask him.
Okay.
Go tell him.
We'll
go tell him. Go ask him, and then we'll find out. Because I forgot to ask Luther if he liked to fish. He's asking. He's asking. I like to fish too, and hunt. Oh, good. Okay, Luther does like to fish.
Yeah.
And he does like to hunt.
How funny would it be if he was like, I actually don't like to fish? Like
that would be kind of weird.
Yeah. Well,
if he's into
that's
that.
true. That is true.
If
yeah.
he's into that.
If he's not into it, or
Okay, so you said your favorite food beside what's your favorite side dish?
Stuffing, of course, Chris. Come on, the stuffing. I mean,
like it all.
I used to love stuffing, like really love it, and then I feel like I was shamed about it because it's kind of you think about it, it's just a bunch of stuff stuffed into something. It's like
just a bunch of bread.
It's bread and just mushroom chopped up and onion chopped up and
celery.
Just like celery. It's kind of like something you might find in a trash can.
And lots of butter.
Butter, yeah.
Well, I'm into butter these days.
You are in the butter. Have you tried Irish
butter?
Have you tried Irish butter?
No, I haven't, but I see it on the shelf. Is it good?
It's amazing. Well, I thought it was kind of funny because I was at the store. My girlfriend is Irish, by the way, or has Irish ancestry, and like on the shelf, it's not like just a regular container of butter. It's literally shaped like a block of gold. And she was like, we need this butter.
No,
it's
I
Irish
need
butter.
this ingot.
Yeah, I know. Ingots. Oh my god, it's so funny, Chris.
Oh,
man, the solid bar of gold. So, anyways, I was like, all right, it's like $100, but okay, well, we're gonna do it. No, I'm kidding. It was like I want to say it was like $6, a little expensive for butter, but Chris, I tried it, and I you know what I did? I sautéed scallops with that butter.
Oh, yum.
And it was so buttery. It was like salty, but like sweet, and just like it's literally when you pull it out, it's yellow. It's not even like, you know how some are like an off-white color, like some butters. It was solid yellow.
Your mouth is watering.
I did something I never did in my life.
What?
I took a fork and I took the stick of butter, and I took a little bit, put it on the fork, and I was like, I got to try this because I'm going to regret it if I don't. It literally was the best tasting butter I've ever had in my life. And I've had butter from like the store. That's really it. Well, I've also had butter from like Amish as well. Like I know Amish make
The
butter.
fresh churned.
Yes, the
butter.
churned butter. This butter, Chris, let me tell you, this butter, literally the greatest, saltiest, but like savory butter. And to saute scallops, like it's amazing because like the fish just gets infused with that flavor. And also, I never, you know how sometimes like butter can burn a little bit, right? This butter was not burning at all. Like I was doing high heat, and I had a bunch of scallops, and I was like, like throwing them up in the air, and doing
really?
that.
I wish I could do that.
It's pretty fun.
No, Idgie would love that.
But I was shocked because like usually like butter, I feel like would start turning like a brownish kind of like
like butter does.
it just stayed butter. It just like stayed golden. Yeah, delicious. Anyways, highly recommend you try that, especially if you're getting into butter.
You know, I never really got to eat scallops much because Francis thought he was allergic to them.
You know, Katie thinks, my girlfriend Katie, she thinks she might be allergic to like shellfish. And I was like, when she said that, I was like, I think scallops are from a shell, but maybe not, because like I don't know. I still didn't look. I never looked it up.
Yeah, they're from a shell.
They are from a shell. So she was like, and I mentioned that too. I was like, it might be from a shellfish, and she was like, I'll take the risk. So I was like, all right, game on.
So what did she do?
She ate it. We made it with,
and she didn't have any reaction.
No reaction. But she has had times where she did eat.
Yeah, well,
some
Francis
stuff
had
and just have like an itch in the throat.
One time he ate scallops and didn't feel good or broke out into a rash or something like that, and from then on he was allergic.
Yeah.
You
if you do it too much, you're kind of playing with fate because it could be really reactionary at some point. But
but I love scallops.
It's so delicious, so flavor. Just and pasta. Do you like scallops and pasta? Or you like your scallops?
I love scallops in anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, I put it in some I got some fettuccine and some garlic sauce, some white garlic sauce, and sometimes I buy a sauce from the store, Chris, but then spice it up a little bit. I add a half a cup of Parmesan,
a little bit,
yeah. I need a doctor after eating the sauce because I'm putting like whole bottles of Parmesan and just salts and butter. I mean, like I really playing with fire.
Scallops are rich.
They're very rich. Yeah. Sometimes, like after I eat a meal like that, I have a plate and I'm like, I should wait like a solid 20 minutes before I have a second, just so I don't like just fall on the ground and just suffer like a minor cardiac.
Well, I think having something like that maybe once a year, once every 6 months, it kind of splurge.
What about once a month though? That's a lot. You're really risking a lot. That's a lot on the line, Chris.
It's a lot on the line.
Yeah. Your life. I don't know. It's like I can't. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be almost time for me to start baking some pecan pies.
Oh yeah, the secret recipe, Chris, from your mother. Not from your mother.
No,
I'm sorry.
My mother had the
made
secret
bread,
recipe for
right?
bread.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So.
Do you think there was an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond where Marie, the mother, gave Deborah, like the daughter-in-law, a recipe, but it was altered to make it bad, and she was like, because like that's how much Marie hated. But I think that's such a great practical joke. Like, make something really amazing. When somebody asks you for the recipe, you just doctor it up to make it not good at all.
Not good.
And then you're like, I guess you just can't cook it,
Speaking of recipe,
Family secrets.
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
The ingredients in the recipe that I'm going to tell everyone.
Oh my good. I forgot we even had that.
It's very diverse.
Okay.
And if you you think about putting some of the stuff in with the other, it's you think, nah, that's not going to work. But
Okay. All right.
here we go. And I asked Noah if he knew what mole was. And he said, "You mean mold?" No, I said mole. He said, "You mean the kind that goes in the ground?" I said, "No."
That's exactly what I said.
No, it's not.
No.
No, I'm just making that
Yeah,
up.
I know.
No, it's a sauce.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a slow cooker chicken mole
Okay.
today.
I can't help but associate the word mole with like something that's on your face or
Oh, that kind of a mole.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I was like, oh. But like, I looked at the recipe and I was like, oh, this is just a dark sauce with chicken. I get why it's called that. I just really hate the name.
Well, I never heard of it either.
Yeah. True.
But it is a dark, rich, complex, flavored mole. This is the recipe. And this person generally shreds the chicken so it will soak up the mole sauce and serve it with warmed tortillas.
Yeah.
And it's always a hit with those who like spicy foods. This recipe can be played with easily to tailor it to your own level of spiciness.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know that you like spicy. So it's a sauce that has a lot of variations. And it's even been served as a dip with corn chips. So here we go. All right. Here are the ingredients.
All right.
There's a lot of them. A large chopped onion.
Yes.
Okay. A half a cup of raisins, which
Okay.
will give it the
It's a
sweetness.
little sweet, but kind of tart, maybe.
3 cloves of garlic minced.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds. Those are optional. A finely chopped finely chopped can.
Just get an axe.
I can't even think about what it would sound like.
Yeah.
Finely chopped canned chipotle chili in adobo sauce.
Oh, now what is that?
I have no idea.
Adobo sauce.
Adobo sauce.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, that's what you do, the chipotle chili. Okay, 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. 1 can of crushed tomatoes. A teaspoon of sugar. A teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 4 teaspoons of chili powder. A half a teaspoon of ground coriander. 3 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And 1.5 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken breasts.
Okay.
Okay. That just sounds really intriguing.
The very, very complex flavors, I think, you
Yeah.
know, but it sounds like I can see how it would work. Yeah.
All right, this is the fun thing. You place all of that, the onion, the raisins, the garlic, the sesame seeds, the chopped chipotle pepper, the peanut butter, crushed tomatoes in a slow cooker. You stir in the sugar, the cinnamon, the chili powder. Did I mention cumin?
No, you did not. But
There's a teaspoon of ground cumin in there as well. Coriander. There's some nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. 3 tablespoons, I mentioned that, of the unsweetened cocoa powder. And you put all that in, and you stir it all together. And then you plop the chicken into the sauce. Plop.
amazing plop. You
Yep.
dump some stuff into some other stuff. No.
Yeah. Okay. Cover it and cook on low until the chicken is very tender. That's going to take about 5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
If desired, you can remove the chicken during the last hour or so and shred it with 2 forks, then stir back into the sauce. Otherwise, serve the chicken breast with the sauce on top. There you go.
That
For
sounds.
servings, it's only 289 calories.
That's very low. That's
Total
very
fat,
very
9
low.
grams. Saturated fat, 2 grams.
So this is like a great food if you wanted to like maybe lose some weight, you could say,
Absolutely.
or like go on a little diet of some sort. That sounds really good.
Yep. So don't forget the chili powder, the ground cumin, and the ground coriander. I'll have to get some of that. because I've got the nutmeg. But doesn't that
That sounds really intriguing, and I don't want to like start adding stuff to it. But like I looked that up when you mentioned mole chicken, and I saw a recipe very briefly that they added nuts to the sauce, like grinded up nuts, and I think that could almost
be in place of the sesame seeds.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Where you could add it in there as well.
It just sounds like a very rich, kind of like earthy flavor with the peanuts, peanut butter, raisins, the dark cumin.
And really, it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
If you can find you could have most of the ingredients in your pantry anyway. So I just may do that this weekend.
Okay.
On Sunday.
Let me know how that turns out.
I will. I might bring you some.
I would definitely try it out if you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, I want to talk to you about this. Maybe now is not the time, but
it's okay.
I wanted to ask you: have you ever made something in a rush? Like, you're either really hungry or you have to throw something together. You're making dinner for some people that are abruptly coming over, and you have to make it fast, but it's not going to be up to your standards. Do you ever make, because I just had that happen recently where
oh my goodness,
I had ground beef. I don't want to say going bad in the fridge, but I had like maybe 2 days left, and I was like, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I came home from work. I was starving. Like I was like, I'm just like kind of ravenous, kind of like just needing to implant something into my teeth, just like, and so anyways, I was like, I'm going to make chili. But like I always held the belief that to make good chili, in order to make good chili,
it has to rest.
It takes, I almost want to say like a full 24 hours of just simmer.
Yeah.
Like a full, like you start it in the morning.
Simmer.
Exactly.
Well, either simmer and make or because when you start simmering it and it gets and it reduces down, you have to add.
You do. There's the spice.
Water.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah. You really should have the spices in there while the beef is cooking to really soak up everything. But definitely add more water to kind of help.
But I always think that it has a chance to thicken up the day after. So I really enjoy it better the day after I've made it.
Exactly. Same here. But I was in a rush, and so I made chili and consumed some of it, and I mean, Katie also had some. She said it was good. I don't know if I should believe her because it's not up to my standards again. I made it and consumed it within 2 hours, which is not enough time to let it rest. Not enough time to really let the flavor soak.
That's when I have a can of soup ready.
Okay, that's a can of soup.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I will say it did rest in the fridge a little bit, but still, it's not. It's not like amazing chili. It's okay chili. It's not like mouth-watering flavors hidden in your face,
Right. Well, I'm sure that it was good.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I threw a can of beer in that chili. That's the first time I did that because, Katie being Irish, they love alcohol. No, I'm kidding. I thought that was funny. But like, anyway, she was like, no, put beer in it. It actually helps like enhance all the flavors. I did that. It was really it was really good, Chris.
Well, yeah, you'd have beer chicken.
Yeah,
beer,
true.
Beef or whatever. But I don't know whether you put beer in barbecue or not.
I don't usually, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Yeah, but no, it was really. I just want to throw that out there. If you're making chili next time, you're making chili.
In fact, there are some bottles of beer that I've had in there for about 6 or 7 months that I
great use for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll think about. I don't know that. Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got a caller. Good morning. You're on the Call Flow Show. Oh, hello. Hello.
There are some odd things happening with the radio and you guys.
Oh no!
But
no, I just didn't have. I didn't have the button on, the phone button on. That's why. Now you're okay.
My error. But
that's right.
Yeah, you guys were talking about food. I had just made some focaccia bread.
Oh yeah.
I made the batter over the weekend or the dough. And I was curious as to how it was going to start.
What kind of bread?
Focaccia.
Focaccia.
Yes.
Tell us what focaccia bread is. I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a flatbed bread, but a little thicker. And then traditionally, maybe they'll put some. Like I put like a grilled onion and jalapeno, and then sometimes you see tomatoes on it, or
It's like a
olives.
little pizza, sort of.
Kind of, yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, a little, which is just, one of those blah, good kind of things.
Yeah, very good. So you just finished
Yeah.
making those?
I just pulled it out of the oven, yeah.
Cool.
It's half gone.
Cool.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I bet it smells good.
But you guys were talking about butter.
Yes.
Did you ever make your own butter?
No.
Did you ever take that challenge?
I have a butter churn. It's an antique butter churn. But
I can see you out on the porch with your head piece on that.
just a grind in that. Yeah, no. No, but I did have neighbors who churned butter. And she would be sitting on the back porch, and she was a grandmother. This was years and years ago when I was just a youngster. And she'd be churning butter. And I'd ask her, "What you doing?" And Ms. Hare, her name is Ms. Hare. So what you doing, Ms. Hare? She said, "I'm churning butter, Christine." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Can I have some?" Now, when I finish churning it, you can have some. Okay.
Huh.
So when she finished churning it and everything, she let me have some, and I spit it right out. It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. But that was when I was young, and it wasn't cold.
Yeah.
and it was
Warm butter.
it was
Did she put
curly.
salt in it yet?
I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway, she let me have a taste of it. And,
Interesting.
yeah. So.
Man, but it's easy to make if you want to make it at home.
Oh, okay. Tell us about it.
Well,
Real
you
quick.
just need whole milk and a blender, and just whip it until it separates. And then you can, if you want to add salt to it, or sometimes you can just do a saltless butter and make like a honey in it. And yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a pain in the it's a pain in the butt to clean the blender, but other than that, yeah, it's just kind of it's fun and easy.
Okay. Well, listen, we'll have to continue this discussion tomorrow because we have to go. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right. That's going to do it for the Call Flow Radio
It
Show
will,
for this
it
day.
will.
Everybody have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for listening. And we got some music coming up
Talk
after
back
the
at
news
you
and weather.
soon.
That's right.
WFLO, AM 870, Farm.